The foundation is key in every style, and you can see the side that is not plucked and you can see the side that is plucked. The difference is quite clear, and that is why you need to pluck properly and style your front part properly before you go ahead to the back. Either your closure or your frontal, do it well. Can you see how I took all hairs back with my hot comb and my tail comb? And can you see the direction of the plucker before you start plucking? You can put a towel underneath for your first time as a beginner, and this is how you pluck. Open, close, drag the strands. You are basically removing the strands in a straight direction, right? Can you see how she went to the next line? And make sure the gaps between the first line and the second line, the spacing are all equal. Hairstyling and creativity goes together. Use your eyes. Take your time. Hold your hands stiff. Your hands should be firm and at the same time should be easy to direct. Can you see how gorgeous this is? Make sure you comb through. Can you see how all the strands are obedient? And look at the difference. Now the extra strands which you removed earlier, this will help you give you a seamless look, especially if you're working with laces that are not HD lace. Make sure you leave that little hair that we left in the front. And now we can all seal everything with heat properly. Now when you're done with this, you make sure you free your strands because you use sprayed, your holding spray. Free your strands with your tail comb. Apply your oil, which is your heat protectant serum, and comb through. How gorgeous does this look? Now let's go into the bouncing. Look at the transformation. Can you see this? This is what we're going to achieve right now with this hair. We're going to divide it into 3 sections. Make sure you do it easily. Use your tail comb so you're not using your fingers and the hairs are going to affect each other later. When you're done with this, make sure you section the 3 sides properly. When you section the 3 sides properly, you're going to start taking layers. You go first with your holding spray and then you go with your heat protectant. I like to use an oil-based heat protectant so that when I curl up, my curls are not now freezed up like stone. They're going to be firm and they're going to still be very soft and succulent. Lol. That is why you see most bouncy hairs. It comes and you're like, how is he holding the bounce? It's still so soft. This is how it is being achieved. Now that I've applied it, I comb through, apply the serum. Can you see how I took in the curls? When you open your curler, place it up. Make sure that as you're rolling the strand, that is when you're also rolling your curler. And then you drag down before you roll back again so that the curls can go into each other. Don't worry, in the course of the video, you're going to see a much clever version of the curling method. But just make sure, simple, open your curler, put in your strands. When you want to turn it over, you must make sure you're also turning your curler at the same time. I'm using a wand of size 25. Very good. And then you wait a period of time, let the heat go in, and then you clip upon it. Can you see how it's firm on its own? And then you're going to pin it up with your U-pin. You can use the small size or the big size, preferably the small size so you don't disturb other curls. Can you see how gorgeous this is? Clack hair. Can you see that finger part? That is where your curl is going to stop. Now we're done with that part. Now we're coming in here. Make sure this is the thickness you pick and you maintain all through. This is the thickness I've been maintaining all through the curling so that it can have even curls. And then as I'm going forward, if I see that, okay, I can get 2 sections of this, I get 2 sections. Go ahead with your method, hold spray, comb, and your oil-based serum. Now when you're done with this, do not forget, go in and roll. Then you go down, taking the next step. Make sure you push it down on the wand because it might be a longer hair and you don't have more space on your wand. Before you go in with the next rolling, and then you turn your curler. Can you see that? Yeah, that is how you take the steps. In curling hair, you need to practice. Practice makes perfect. If you do not do it 2 to 3 times, you won't get it. It's mostly practice. Make sure you roll and hold. You roll and hold. You drag down before you take the next rolling. And when you're done, you roll up completely. That is how you get the curls into each other. And that's how you get your bouncy curls. Can you see that? Beautiful. And then we're going to pin up. We're going to continue with the other strands. Now I want you to look closely. When I said make sure you're taking a particular thickness, this is what I mean. Now can you see that I'm making sure I don't make sure the thickness of one is different from the thickness of the other. It's going to give me uneven curls and it's going to affect the overall look at the end of the day. Now that we're done with that, can you see the curls? Can you see them being in one line? And now can you see I have two sections of that thickness, which means I'm going to always curl the inner before the outer. I'm on my right hand side. The curls will not affect each other. You curl the inner before the outer when you're on the right hand side, because my wand is going to be facing the left. It's coming from the right to the left. Can you see that? So I'm going to be curling the inner before the outer so it doesn't affect the curls. If I curl the outer first and I'm trying to curl the inner, it will scatter the curls on the outer. But when you're on the left side, which is this side, you're going to curl the outer one first before the inner. That is how it works. Good. Now when you get to the top, you're going to wonder, oh, we're stopping at this point, but all this hair, what are we going to do with it? No problem. And that is why I always style the closure of the frontal first, and I always leave a layer first. So now we're going to take each layer gently and we're going to smoothen it up. Well, I have my hair wax and my serum and either my hot comb or my wand, but I prefer to use the wand so it doesn't scatter the strands and other curls. Gently use your wax and then go in with your wand. I do the same till I get to the top. And when you notice, oh, some parts are already so nice. Always hold firmly. When you're standing, coiling, bouncing, straightening, you have to drag your strands so that it enters and it's straight. Can you see that? Make sure my wand is a size 25, by the way, for those that would need to know. And can you see as we're going to the top how neat those strands are, because we've styled the top. This makes it easy, not that you come to the top and then you start styling again. It's going to affect you because you're coiling from the back and you can't come to the front. It's generally going to affect you. If you have that method, good for you. But this is my method. Now when we're done with that, I'm sectioning into 3. Can you see 3 sections, same thickness? And I'm going to be curling from the inner one before I get to the outer one, because I'm on the right hand side. When I do the normal procedure, apply my product, I go in with my curling. Yeah, girls, this is how you style. Yeah, guys, this is how you style. Make sure you're taking your time. Make sure you're trying to understand the process. Do you know something about curling? If you're not comfortable, if your hands are not comfortable while you're doing it, then you're doing it wrong. Your wrist should not be struggling to twist. Just make sure you're just trying to curl and that you notice that your arms are comfortable while you're doing it. Not that your wrist is turning one way or your shoulders, you're not comfortable. Once your arms are comfortable, you're doing it well. Look at how they are all aligned. How gorgeous does this look? Finally, I was supposed to do this first, but I'm going to do it last. I'm going to put in the lace tint and dry it up. Now look at this before and look at the gorgeous after. This is so wonderful, and this is how you get bouncy curls. Can you see how bouncy it looks? Yummy, 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 yummy. This is what you need to do. For more inquiries, please ask questions and let me know. Beautiful